All right, hey guys, sorry about the non-live show. This is what happens when you're trying to share truth with people. There's always a list of problems, and we could chalk it up as a fluke, but really it's just demonic attacks over and over again. So,
Coincidences.
yeah. So we're gonna start the show now, and I'm gonna let Franz drive, and I'll just be asking questions and stuff throughout the video. So go ahead and take it.
All right. Well, I wanted to go back to where we left off with the last show and do a little more into Freemasonry. And it started a lot with Egyptians. And I'm going to explain some of the symbolism. And what you see here is the earliest pentagram in a circle.
Oh, is that what that is?
That is where it came from. This
Hmm.
is Egyptian, the earliest carving we see before the full circle, but that is the same thing as the star in the circle.
That's like the 5 points you were talking about?
5 points,
Yeah.
yep. Um, Here it is in Sanskrit.
Well, don't talk during that. Now say it.
All right, this is Sanskrit. This is the same symbol, and here it's doubt is what it's called, and that in Sanskrit and Egyptian means it's the realm of the dead.
Oh, excellent.
And this picture made me instantly think of something that we have seen every single day.
Oh, yes.
It's always around you. These symbols are here forever. They've been here. They have used them. And it comes from Hermetic teachings from Hermes.
Hermes, yeah.
This is the Egyptian Hermes. There's a Hermes god. He's also known as Thoth.
Mm-hmm.
He's also Hermes Trismegistus, which is the Greek. And it's all blurred. Egyptians is the god that he's the master of masters. He's learned from the god. They believe that God is the all. They call him Adam.
Yeah, the one, right?
The one. And that's
Yeah.
where you get the I from. The all. And the all is in the circle. That's part of that symbolism.
You know that bird is native to America?
Yes.
Isn't that funny how the Egyptians have a bird that's native to America?
Yeah.
It's kind of ironic.
We're going to get into tie it all together.
I'm sure we will.
I jumped back to the Egyptians because that's the origin of the symbolism. I can get into detail of all of the symbolism, but it comes from the Hermetic teachings. And that is the secret teachings of Hermes. It's sealed secrets if it's only taught lip to ear. It's hence the saying hermetically sealed. And now I jumped forward with this one. It's about Strasbourg. This is when it starts getting documented of temples, Freemasonry temples, and late 1400s. Strasbourg stuck out to me. I took this little clip from actual the Strasbourg Freemasonry Lodge. They have the Charter of Cologne in the Mother Lodge, and it's about their history. They word of mouth from Hermes to all these teachings, and during these times it was the Reformation era, where it was more destruction of church and pointing fingers, nobility and royalty and the church all pointing fingers, and basically these groups like Calvinists were families that believed in these Hermetic teachings who were taught these things over the years. And the Charter of Cologne that was signed by a lot of people who were against the church, and they, in their history, in their timeline, Jesus was a bad dude, and he destroyed the Solomon Temple.
So you're talking about the Christian church? When you mentioned the church?
Well, they infiltrated the Christian church.
I just wondered if you were talking about the Christian or the Catholic.
No, well, back then it was so misdrued.
Yeah, because Catholic people think they're Christians.
under Orthodox,
yeah,
right? And so many people, there's so many versions of Christians. It was basically all the other sects that hated Orthodox because they believed Jesus destroyed the Temple of Solomon. And their whole mission and in their history of teachings, in their history, was to rebuild. They wanted to rebuild Solomon, the Temple of Solomon, Jerusalem. And that these families kept these teachings of this history to nobility, and they've used since the 14th century into the 15th the same seal, and I'll show you proof of that. And in Strasbourg was some of the earliest enemies of the church, starting the Freemasonry. They wanted to revenge the House of Stuart that was living in exile. And here's a crest that is still used to this day in our country and many countries.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's England, too.
That's still used by Prince Charles?
Prince Charles, yeah.
You probably saw it at the Jubilee recently.
Oh, yes.
And this is the House of the Stuarts, the exiled House of Stuarts. And Semper Idem means always the same.
Oh.
Which comes from the Hermetic teachings. And always the same.
Oh, look at that.
This is the old State House, courthouse in Boston. The building is the crest to the House of Stuarts.
You know that the unicorn is often used to represent God.
Yes.
The real God, everybody.
Yeah. They pretend to believe in the same God we talk about when we say we believe in our God.
Right.
But there was one creator, and he was the creator, the all. So that was a jump back and forth. And that building in Boston is there part of our history.
That was Boston?
That was Boston.
Oh, I thought that was overseas.
No, that's Boston. I drove by that building and actually had to drive back around to get a picture of it because it just struck me. Like I said in the last video we made, that all these things stand out to me because of personal things in my life. We took a personal trip to Boston and I was sightseeing. And Strasbourg, in the first clipping from a history book from the chapter of Cologne, the Strasbourg, where it all started, well, it was first started documented. I grew up, my father would bring me to Strasbourg, Pennsylvania to visit the railroad. And it always struck to me. So that stuck out to me. And not only did it pop up in my personal life, but names when I was reading about Strasbourg.
Now you done it. You can use this mouse, man.
All right. Popped up. All right, go back.
That's fine.
When reading about Strasbourg, other names stuck out to me. Like, Adam Weisfeld.
Oh, I've heard that name before.
1776. Founder on May 1st, 1776. He's the founder.
What else happened that year? That's very strange.
No,
that year sounds familiar.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to think about it.
But this guy was a part of what happened that year in 1776. Not just starting of this, but what was going on in our country. What we know of our free world is the New World. It was part of my point.
Yeah.
This guy was going off beliefs from Oliver Cromwell. I don't know if you know a lot about him, but he started the Freemasonry. He's believed to start in the 15th century. He was the part to do with the Charter of Cologne. Adam Weishaupt was canon law. He was the professor of canon law in Bavaria. And that's where I found more names of the Reformation and Oliver Cromwell and how the name Freemasonry came about. Fra, F-R-A, F-R-E, means friar. So they were friar masons of a guild.
So I'm looking up here, and it says Brother Spartacus within the order. He adopted the name of Brother Spartacus.
Right.
It's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Spartacus.
So
that's like in all kinds of like old Greek movies.
There's still pulling Egyptian and Greek.
Yeah.
And that's right in there. It always is, always the same.
What is the order of the perfectibilist? Did you ever look into that? Perfectibilist or whatever that says?
So that you had to be of nobility. You had to be, it's of the lip to ear from the Hermetic, from the original. You had to show that you were open-minded or wanted the ears to learn the truth.
As they see it.
As from their side of the story. There's two sides of every story. So our history timeline is of a falsity. And they believe theirs is correct and they're going to keep it secret from you. And if you are of noble, back then you had to be nobility, you had to be of the same religion and willing to learn. And that's where the degrees comes in. And the degrees goes back to the Hermetic teachings. Hermes taught that like temperature. Everything is degrees. Temperature is one thing, but hot and cold are different degrees of the same thing. So you're a Freemason, you become different degrees of the same thing. You could be a part of the same thing, but never reach certain degrees to learn these things. You never impressed Brother Spartacus enough.
Brother Spartacus is not impressed.
I know I jumped around a lot, but it all ties together. And in these teachings, in these principles, there are 7 principles, and these 7 principles show up in every religion and walk of life, from government. The Hermes 7 principles, Hermetic principles of science, religion, mathematics, alchemy, philosophy, medicine, and magic, which here also is mentalism, correspondence, vibration, polarity, rhythm, cause and effect, and gender.
Oh, wow. Okay, hold on. I gotta say something right now. Mentalism. Bro. The all is mind. The universe is mental. I'll tell you what. The truthers out there in the truther community pushing flat earth, they all are against the Freemasons. It's pretty obvious, right?
Right.
But when I hear them talk about their belief system, and these are not people that, are being enlightened by Jesus. When they talk about their belief system, they say that the universe only exists in the mind of their God. And they think that they're all part of this hive.
Right.
And I'm like,
all right.
You guys, you got the same religion as the Freemasons, yet you're like this?
So, and
what the heck?
You're right. Mentalism is, you hear it in school. School teaches you, if you put your mind to it, you can do anything. That's the same Hermetic beginning.
Right, yeah.
Anything's possible in the mind. You want to fly? You can do it with your mind. Literally, that is what they mean. Yeah. And he's correct, because mentalism these 7 principles show up in all religions. Right? And it's mixed in like the 7 chakras, of Buddhism, Hinduism, right? These all show up, and that everybody's adopted. Adopted.
I do like how it says at the bottom on gender. Gender isn't everything. Everything has its masculine and feminine. Look at that. It's only 2.
Right.
Franz.
There's only 2.
There's only 2, Franz.
Let's hit all of these then, because so we touched mentalism and now correspondence. As above, so below.
So that
as
would
below,
be the Star of David,
so above. Correct.
Which is not really the Star of David, but
no, it's not. They say that it goes back to the symbol all the way back to Egypt.
And the elements, that's fire and water too.
Correct, and that is alchemy.
Yeah.
Okay. Vibration. Nothing rests. Everything moves. Everything vibrates. So that is modern science as physics.
That's like, oh, this table, it's not solid. It's vibrating.
Well, it's talking about particle physics.
Right,
yeah. Your single particle, every little particle in you is vibrating. Everything's in movement. Everything, there's no stop. When you come to the end of your life, you die. You keep going. Everything continues. More birth, more death. More birth, more death. Everything. 4 is polarity. Everything is dual. Everything has poles. North Pole, South Pole. Everything is a pair of opposites. Like and unlike are the same. Opposites are identical in nature but different in degree. Extremes meet. All truths are but half-truths. All paradoxes may be reconciled. Visually put, in the yin-yang, polarity. It's the same, but it's not. And that's where
checkerboard with the old Freemasons.
That's where the black, polarity is the black and white. Yeah. Rhythm. Everything flows out and in. Everything has its tides. All things rise and fall. And number 6 is cause and effect. I'm not going to read everywhere. We're just going to get through the basics. Every cause has its effect. What goes up must come down.
Yep.
Right? And like he's read gender. It wasn't just male, female. It was saying everything has a feminine and a masculine side. A tree has a feminine and a masculine side. The masculine, rough bark, it grows strong, but it produces a flower, a seed, the leaf, etc. So the 7 principles, as my point was, they show up everywhere. And modernly, here they are. The 7 principles of the Constitution. Every government has the 7 principles of their Constitution. And where the Constitution comes from goes back to the Charter of Cologne. They created a Constitution. Every chapter, every chartered temple has a Constitution.
Yeah, you should dig through my Freemason books after.
I would like that. Well, now we're back there and talking about back then to the House of Stuarts. The House of Stuarts actually came from a family called the Huguenots. This is their crest. This is their imagery.
Iron cross.
Iron cross. It's still your circle with a cross inside. Your upside down, flying down bird. And
so it's got the 8 points. So that's the cube in a cube structure.
That is, yes. What that represents is back to this symbol. I liked this picture because it had that symbol in the background you didn't notice. That symbol represents the Philosopher's Stone.
Oh.
That represents your triangle, your star.
Alchemy.
Yes. And you see that everywhere. Witchcraft has adopted that. That's modern. Back to the Huguenots.
You know who had that symbol? Bro. Olga.
She did on her neck.
No, but she was holding it when I was just recording that, the Great Conjunction scene.
The Great Conjunction.
It's the end of the...
No!
Yeah. She's looking at it going, what's the Great Conjunction? She's looking through that thing, and that's exactly
and
the
she
symbol
talks
it was.
about the hermetic, the 7 principles. What
Yeah.
goes up must come down. What goes in must come out.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of speech.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She looks like one of those ugly dogs. Like a pug or something.
All right. So back to the Huguenots. Huguenots was in the Freemasonry lodges of teaching back then. They taught the House of Stuarts that were in exile, and let's see if we know somebody who may have been a Huguenot. Oh, George Washington himself was the grandson of a Huguenot.
Uh-huh.
Huh.
Well, look at that. I guess that explains how he got his position here.
He was in that position beforehand.
Yeah.
So that those names stuck out to me, and I was able to trace that back to George Washington. A part of other names that stuck out in the Articles of Cologne was a guy named with the last name Carrollton. And when you look him up, he was from Carrollton. Now, you look up under the theory that we're the New World and everything is new, New York, New Hampshire, they regurgitated names. They were proud of themselves. They cannot stop patting themselves on the back. So I found a city in Maryland, New Carlton, where this building is. And this is the IRS.
Oh, that's the IRS. Man.
IRS headquarters.
I recognize those.
So you have, here you go, your arch, which is the gateway into Solomon, the temple, Solomon's temple. Okay. And here, if you didn't see them in the last picture, are the towers. There's 2 towers. There's 13 stripes, the black and white duality. All right, the 2 opposite towers, a polarity, and then the triangle.
We the people.
We the people. Now, this, we the people, we are the people. We represent the masses here, under control of the capstone, the philosopher's stone, Ben stone. That's who controls we the people. Because what does this have to do with the IRS? The IRS, remember, was established as a temporary measure for wartime. Nothing temporary about it.
We are in a constant state of war, apparently.
Right. Now, and more of the symbolism.
Because it never went away.
It never did. No.
Never will either.
And it always the same.
Yeah. So
the hand, the white marble, represents the white gloves they wear in ceremony. Let's see another angle, another view. Here we are. We the people.
Pretty brazen, right? I mean, you can tell we're nearing the end because they don't even care. They ain't trying to hide it anymore. They're putting it in their face now.
This was built in 1997. This is the IRS.
Yeah.
So after, being interested in that, I'm jumping around again. So the IRS, this building is right near Washington, D.C., which, and I'll bring you right back here.
Looks like you got some maps of Washington up there.
Here's an old map of the street layout of Washington, D.C. Here's the White House. But it looks like a bunch of grids and streets, but everything's this secret geometry. Because the big G in the Freemasonry you see show up, it represents God in geometry, I believe. So, again, here's the White House right here.
Yeah, they call him Creator.
He is the creator of all.
Yeah. So sick. These people are twisted up, man.
Here, we'll go to this one.
Delusion.
This is a close-up of the White House. And I zoomed this in because Jay made a video about the LOL.
And there it is.
O.
Look at that.
L.
Nice, dude.
So,
that's ancient.
So if you think it's just crazy theories because you're recognizing symbols everywhere, not crazy.
Mm-mm.
Your eye's catching it. Once you start seeing these and learning these, and I didn't go too crazy into them. I just wanted to show you that they show up everywhere.
I actually looked at the Boston, the B they used, and it originally was a 13, bro.
Yeah.
It's not a B.
No.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
No way.
Absolutely. So those 3 maps will bring you to this. That looks like Washington, D.C. again, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's Detroit.
All right.
Why did they model Detroit the same way? Well, Detroit was part of our history, and we mentioned the Underground Railroad and how they were not just say freeing slaves as they tell you to move them up to free countries or free states. They were shipping them up to Canada, through Canada and out. So that brings me to Prince Hall. He's the fraternal leader. He's from the West Indies, the British West Indies. His name is Prince Hall, and he migrated to Boston. He started the black community, Freemason Lodge. He was chartered directly from England in 1787 to start this.
Don't they have a name? What is the name of that? They have a name. They have a specific name, the Black Freemasons. I forget what it's called.
I can't remember either.
I'll have to look it up. They totally have a name, though.
But they definitely use this guy the way they used George Washington.
Oh, yeah, they did. Look at him. He even looks like old George.
Black
Yeah, he's
George
got a
Washington.
little LOL on his lapel there.
There's that LOL, which represent the towers, the pillars,
Yeah.
and the circle is the God. Circle is
Sun,
all,
yeah.
and you put the star in it. It's the realm of the dead, and so he's in your history timeline. He was the one who started the Underground Railroad, and he helped save slaves by going up to Detroit and into Canada. But here's the Masonic Lodge in Detroit.
Wow, dude. That thing is humongous.
It's hard to get really close-up pictures of this area.
Towers, man.
Look at it. It is huge. The only picture I brought up, but it's a lot.
That's a lot bigger than
for a modern.
the house at Charlestown I drove by. Looks like a family home.
So, to me, that just tells me Prince Hall came from Britain as a Freemason, set up to charter and under a certain chapter of creating our history. Here, this to me tells me here's his reward. So, how much did they really hate and persecute black people? I mean, there's a history of it. I'm not saying it's not true, but, that led me into these people who will have special holidays in their chapters of Freemasonry. These are all members: Bill Cosby, Nat King Cole, Buzz Aldrin, Scottie Pippen, Chris Tucker, Telly Savalas. They pay homage to Prince Hall in the black community, in the Freemason black community. There's Paul Revere, Benjamin Franklin, James Madison,
Louis Armstrong,
John Hancock, Buffalo Bill Cody, John Wayne, Davy Crockett, Henry Ford, Buzz Aldrin, Franklin Roosevelt, Mark Twain, Theodore Roosevelt. I mean, it's just some. These are flyers of saying, hey, we're awesome.
Yeah, we love ourselves so much.
And here, how many? Nelson Mandela?
Yeah, there you go, with the Mandela effect.
This is the Prince Hall Masons.
See, if people know that Mandela is a Mason, then they ought to understand that the Mandela effect is propaganda.
Part of the hive mind.
Yeah, it's to detach you. I understand it. It's because if they can get you to start questioning your own past, then in the spiritual realm, you'll just be spinning.
Right.
Out of control, because you don't know who you are, where you came from, what's true, what's not, and then they can control you in the hive.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's about controlling completely from the beginning.
Yeah,
and that's the whole point of all of this. And it's just symbolism way back from Egyptian time, from the realm of the dead to the rims on your tires to buildings you pass every day and not realize it. And they're blatantly put it in front of your face since the beginning. Here's a shrine.
Yeah, just a little, huh?
Okay, let me close up on.
BJ.
Do you want to know where this is?
The Freemason Circle, Solomon's Lodge number 59. Yeah, I do.
That is outside of the Supreme Court of Israel.
Why didn't I think that?
Of Israel.
Yeah.
Here is Solomon's temple. Here is their circle. And all these lines in this crazy parking lot are your rays. You have illumination.
Yeah.
Here's your 1, 2, 3, 5.
Is that an obelisk in the middle, or is that like
I think it's
sidewalk?
a staircase.
Oh, okay.
Starts to go up.
Oh, okay, a staircase. That's symbolism too, right there. Jacob's ladder.
Yep. But what?
Oh, look at that.
Pyramid.
Go figure.
All
is that
seeing a
another
pyramid.
one?
Yes. Yes. So, like I said, this is Solomon's temple.
Mm-hmm.
This whole thing is the rebuilt Solomon's temple. They rebuild it over and over again. And part of their mission back when they were creating the chapters, back in the 15th century, they wanted to destroy Jesus and the believers of Jesus, the Orthodox, and it was going to be done with conspiracy and revolution, and that's all we've had in our history. That's the most consistent thing in our history. It's revolution and conspiracies. There's another picture I forgot to bring up before, but this is the Huguenots.
Massacre of Bartholomew's Day.
So it was a big massacre. This is 1572. They were massacred. And they were massacred trying to avenge the Stuarts, this royal family. They were Calvinists. And that was their secret religion at the time. From the Strasbourg, back to Strasbourg again, if you look up in different spelling, Strasbourg, you will get the actual place in France that we all might know, Cathedral of Notre Dame, Strasbourg.
Yeah, that place is awesome. The
original lodge of the Freemasons from the Charter of Cologne is about 2 blocks away from here.
Man, that's awesome.
So
it's
the whole
these people are so evil because the stuff they build is nice.
It is, and you know, in the history of them, they started as a guild of you know, professionals, workers. You know, back then, a son learned the trade from the father.
Right.
Goldsmith, blacksmith, a mason, a carpenter. So they were the best ones. They would, you know, teach them the secrets of mathematics and the principles and understanding of all of this. So that's where all our art come from. Our architect from the 7 principles. All of our sciences, everything is from the 7 principles. And it shows up over and over and over again. From the original symbol, the realm of the dead, the things everybody has to have.
Gotta have them.
My car will be cooler.
Those spinners, yo.
Exactly, and that, you know. But I'm just crazy.
We're all crazy.
I'm just crazy,
man.
and that's Washington D.C., which would make me question Is the White House a lodge?
Yeah, I would say so, right?
Why do they have an Oval Office? Why does the Oval Office have 2 hallways on either side?
Yeah.
Like
that.
L
Yeah.
O
Yeah.
L. The White House, the most haunted house, the oldest house, is a Freemason lodge.
Yeah, there's multiple symbols going right there.
You do
'Cause
see it.
that's
Here's the
This is also the sun with the 2 crescents.
yep, multiple times
Yeah.
on either side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see the one at Washington where it shows you the square and the compass and the laid out on it? Have you ever seen that?
I have, and it lays out almost the exact same
Right
way
on the grid,
because
yeah.
that even
There's also an owl there too. There's all kinds of stuff in there.
the sacred geometry comes, all of it comes from that.
Yeah. New Agers.
Can we look up?
Huh?
Can we search stuff?
Click the little lion head down there. Now you can search whatever you want. That's just like Google, just type it in.
I forgot to say the names of the pillars because they named them.
What, they named
Chachas and bows. I'm not joking, dude. Look that up.
They name them? My goodness.
Yeah.
Well,
Chachin.
They love to copy, Oh, yeah, look at that.
Bows and Chachin.
So that's the pillars. So that would be the B and the J that we saw on the pillars.
Exactly.
Okay.
Like you said right here.
Yeah. The B and the J. Some of the pillars have like the directions on them. Like an east and west pillar.
Yes. And there's the G, big
Yeah.
G. All right.
Man.
Charles Carrollton. That was the name. He signed the Declaration of Independence.
I have that. In my room somewhere. I took it down. Well, I tore it down. Click on this real quick to see what it's up to. Where is this thing? You notice how it disappeared? Like, most of it just vanished without the trees. Well, it usually tells you how long it's going, but it's just the pause, but the rest of the thing vanished.
Oh. What if I send this to you? Well, it goes with the last thing you said, because I wanted to say, the flower of life. And it goes with the hive mind.
Can you just search it on here? There you go. So, yeah.
Flower of life. Pine cone. Pine cone's in Inky's hand. Pine cone. This is the Vatican City.
Yeah.
Pine cone. You know what it represents?
The pineal gland.
Pineal gland.
Yeah.
So if they're holding a main pineal gland, you know how tall this pineal gland pine cone is in the Vatican City? 13
Looks
feet.
big.
13 feet.
Oh, geez, how strange.
Yeah,
Must be a coincidence.
And if you can, these birds on this side of it, or they're right here.
Yeah, those are peacocks, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's another symbol.
They all represent the same animal. So the staff of Osiris had a pine cone. The Pope has a pine cone staff.
Yeah, they have that scepter, yeah.
Yeah. But
Trying to show you, if I can find it.
I was basically do a sign off.
What, you're all done?
Yeah, that was pretty much everything. How long was it? About an hour?
I have no idea. Yeah, we could just do an ending. Well, I guess that's what we got today, guys. We will put some more. We'll get some more going. We'll have a better show. We're working out the kinks. We appreciate you guys being patient with us. We know you're looking forward to chat with us and stuff and ask questions, and we're looking forward to chatting with you and answering questions. So, we're going to get it going. I'll work it all out. I'll set it all up this week, and we'll get it up and running, so there'll be no more hiccups. So that next time I advertise a live show, my word to you guys, it will be coming on. And this show, I will put on a premiere so that we can chat together while we're watching it. All right? All right, you guys. Take care. Thanks for coming.